Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to a brand new day. And remember that this is a brand new moment. Today I have with me the energy of a group called the Divine Collective. I have the particular flavor of these Indian mystics that come forward from this collective of entities. It's important that we understand that there are some elements about our personalities that we need to know and understand that can eliminate so much unnecessary confusion. And if you like what you hear on today's show, please remember to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, click that notification bell in the notification bell on YouTube. And if you're on TikTok, remember to like, subscribe, follow, share this information with other people, because I think what you're going to hear today is going to be life-changing for some of you, if not all of you. So the concept about reincarnation and your clairs are the two subjects, which is unusual because they don't normally ask me to consider more than one message to come through, but they felt it was very important that two levels of understanding come through today. The first is this concept of creation and reincarnation. And reincarnation is basically, in the short form, is that you are a sentient being, a living soul that is not bound by flesh alone, but that you, as a consciousness, come into a body, you experience a body, you leave the body, you come back and you experience another body, and you gather experiences through many lifetimes, many different forms, whether you're a tree or a fish or a bird or a molecule or an atom or a Jesus or a Buddha. You come back and experience many different things for a variety of reasons. But what they really want to address in terms of reincarnation is the cessation of confusion. When I asked them what they meant by the cessation of confusion, they said, a lot of you don't recognize or remember your creative capabilities. Many of you do not understand or realize that you are creating subsequent experiences from where you are now in time and space. Many of you think that your whole life is based upon this one physical lifetime, and therefore you don't evaluate or consider the consequence of thoughts, desires, as they relate to future lifetimes. That is, what you think, feel, and desire now, it may not be experienced in this lifetime, but it will eventually be experienced, because what you think and feel at any point of your creative process will manifest. When I asked them for more detail about how that relates to what's happening now, they said, well, you may be in a male body right now. You might be in a male body right now or a female body right now. They said, if you are in a male or female body and you are desiring or wishing to be something other than male or female, you will precipitate an opportunity as that being a creation. In other words, let's say you're not having a very good life as a man, or you're not having a very good life as a woman. You say, I wish I were a woman when you're a man, or I wish I were a man when you're a woman. Well, you will precipitate that opportunity as a function of creation. In other words, you could come back into another body in a subsequent lifetime from being a man to being a woman. So you would have your male awareness in a female body. And this can create a lot of confusion, because now you're in a female body experiencing that which you desired in the other lifetime. And then suddenly you're going, wait, I don't like this experience. I don't want to be this experience now, but you created it for a reason, because you were desirous to know and understand and comprehend what it was to be the opposite. And then you come into the experience of it, and they said, so many of you reject your experience of this now, more so than ever. In the last 200 years, we have seen so many of you reincarnate in the opposite sexual form, finding yourself achieving the very thing that you desired in the previous lifetime, but achieving it now, and then being confused and uncertain as to what the experience is or what it means, wanting to escape your own creative process. It's important that you understand that you are a creating being, and that the physical dimension is where you unfold the experience of your own creation, that you might know that you are a creator, that you will have the opportunity to manifest creation and experience the delight, or so we would hope that you would realize there's a great delight in being able to create, experience subsequent to one lifetime from another to another, in order to gain a deeper, more richer understanding of yourself as a being, as a creative intelligence, and as a consciousness. That these elements of creation must be understood, that when you desire something, desire brings forth an energy, a very powerful and attractive energy, that you will precipitate into the experience of your creation, whether that desire is for something good or not so good, because you can choose things that you desire and say, I wonder what that would be like. You might say, I wonder what that would be like to suffer like that, or I wonder what it would be like to be a man, or I wonder what it would be like to be a woman. You have strong desires. That function of desire precipitates a function of creation. And is that not wonderful that you can create with your desires? So many of you find yourself coming into these forms, having desired that form, and now you have what you desire, and being discontented or not understanding or comprehending the fact that you precipitated the creation in which you find yourself. Rather than learning to delight, appreciate, and honor your own creative process, you deny it and negate it. You would seek to undo what you created. It is very difficult when you create a lifetime from a previous lifetime. It's very difficult to uncreate the creation once you're in it. It's like getting onto a ride at one of your fairs, and you find yourself on the ride and desiring to get off, but you cannot. It is similar to that, you know. We're sure you've seen some of those events where individuals get into something, they go, oh, I do not wish to be in this now, but you are already in it. Why would you not delight in that which you've chosen to be in? Why? Why would you not? Quite simply because you are afraid and you do not understand and you do not comprehend how to learn or grasp the function of creation in an effective, joyful, empowering, and uplifting manner. And you may reincarnate as a bird or a cow or as a dog or as an ant or as a tree, as a flower. There are many different experiential expressions that you can manifest. All of you have been many of these different things, having lost the memory of those things into the recesses of your past experiences, in the deeper recesses of your consciousness. Often many of you find yourself isolated in this time-space event, letting your awareness simply be localized to where you are in that physical form, hearing these words. But you always have the opportunity to re-experience something very different. You can create something new, and we can assure you that it will come to pass. If not in this lifetime, then certainly in the next, as consciousness does not have a finite beginning or end. It is simply a journey from a point of awakening to a point of returning home. The point of awakening is when you begin to discover you are a creating intelligence, where you begin to realize you are a creating intelligence. That is what you are. You are a creating intelligence. You have come into this dimension of time and space and matter to experience the effects of your creation, to learn from your creation, to grow from your creation, to appreciate and respect creation, to know yourself as creator, limitless and unbounded by time, space, or matter. Ultimately, you come to that realization, which very few of you do in any given period of time, but some of you do come to that realization that you are a creator. And so how then do you come to this place where you find yourself in the middle of a ride and you're going, I do not like this? How do you change from your sensation of disliking what you've created to learning to respect and appreciate the very thing you've brought into existence for yourself? There are things that you will say and things that you will do that will result in creations. Your anger will result in creation. Your joy will result in creation. To desire happiness, to be upset, to be frustrated, these are functions of creation that you carry out on a moment-to-moment basis. Many of you unaware that you're even doing it. You think you might be angry, that anger will have no effect. You think you can be judgmental and have that judgmentalness not have an effect? You think you can desire something and not have that desire have an effect? all of these things loan themselves to creation, these functions of your consciousness. That you are creating and experiencing your creation right now. That you have the choice to honor, cherish, and respect your creation. To delight in the ride that you've chosen to be on in this lifetime. Or you may fuss and fume about the creation, which will create another event as well for yourself. Your frustration, your anger, your disappointment, your fear, your joy, your playfulness, your curiosity, all of these are creative functions, not simply passing fancies in your awareness. But every thought, every emotion, every conception you give attention to gives birth. It gives birth to creation. You give birth to creation in every moment of your life. In every moment of your life, you give birth to creation. What you think and what you feel. And not one among you in this dimensional experience of time and space is exempt from that process. Even if you look down on others and you judge them and say, oh, look at that terrible person down there, you say that's terrible. They're so no good. You are creating an experience for yourself where you will be that which you judge. You will become what you behold. This is what you do. This is what creation is. It is what it is. This is what you are, creator. Is that not wonderful that you are creator? That you can hear right now the truth of these things for yourself, to know that what you think, what you feel, what you imagine, what you judge, what you consider, you begin to give birth to in your experiential existence through time and space. If not in this life, then in the next. From this perspective of understanding, you could not then feel sorry for those that are suffering, for they themselves brought it upon themselves in the function of their own creative process. For there are those that are suffering greatly on this planet, and there are those that are living quite joyously. And there are many other spectrums of experience amongst that as well. Every single one of you is a creating intelligence. With every thought, with every emotion, with every consideration, you precipitate creation. And so you need to understand the basic fundamentals of creation, how you create. What are the implements you use of creation in your consciousness of thought, of emotion, of imagining, of weighing, of measuring, of considering. That every emotional spectrum that you give attention to is an assertion of creative influence over your experience of time and space. And not one among you on this planet, not the babe suffering, not the man on his bed leaving his body, each and every one of you deliberately and intentionally creating your experiences. And none of you are exempt from your suffering if you create it, or your bliss if you create it, or your contentment if you create it. Every one of you is creating, and you cannot deny this simple fact. And if you choose to deny this simple fact, then you will simply experience the random nature of your thoughts appearing as surprises along the way. But many of you do not understand the fundamentals of thought, how you create emotional energy, how you utilize the function of body, how you utilize your senses in creation. Many of you are just bound to the 5 physical senses, believing that these are the only way you perceive reality, that these 5 little senses of sight and sound and touch and taste and hearing as the only way you can apprehend reality, to put it into a way to understand this world. And for this world, your 5 physical senses are sufficient enough to survive, but not fully able to allow you to harness the full capabilities of your creative process. And so through this one today, we will talk to you also about this function of these other senses that you all have. That you have senses beyond these physical senses that you each and every one have access to. You've heard many terms given to these senses. You've heard the term third eye. You've heard the term psychic abilities. You've heard these sixth sense. You've heard these terms. But let us place the understanding of these other senses that you have at your disposal to utilize in the function of creation. And we call these senses the five clairs, which means clair means clear, to be clear. And these clairs are clairvoyance, which means to clearly see. Clairaudience, which means to clearly hear. Clairsentience, which means to clearly feel. And claircognizance, which means to clearly know. That you can see and hear and feel and know clearly. These senses are non-physical. They do not exist through the body, but they do exist in your consciousness. And the reason many of these senses are difficult to access or utilize for so many of you is not because there's anything functionally wrong with those senses or yourself, but that you've simply adopted that the five physical senses are the only mechanisms of perception that you believe are available to you, and you've been trained that way by this world, that you must focus on what you see and hear and smell and touch and taste. And while these are beneficial for allowing you to function in the physical world from the perspective of survival, these senses are somewhat limited in your capacity to create outside the confines of what this world has offered you as an understanding of what life is, or what your body can allow you to perceive through its five physical senses. That you can begin to open up these other senses. You begin this process of opening up your other senses to see without the eyes, to hear without your ears, to feel within yourself that one thing is good or not good, one thing is true or not true, and to know that you know what you know. These senses are non-physical and in the realm of your perception. You have seen many instances of this in this world. Even now, there are schools that you can find that will teach you how to open your inner eye and to open your inner ear, to comprehend with your inner knowing and to sense the truth of things by a mere awareness of the sensation of truth or that which is not truth. And so these other faculties, when you begin to develop or avail yourself or awaken to these other faculties of your consciousness, you would not feel so entrapped by the senses of the five of the body. You would not be trapped by it anymore. You would be able to avail yourself of information, understanding, and ideas that go beyond the purview of the physical senses, that would allow you to sit in quiet repose and receive information, guidance, to sense and feel the truth of something or the falsity of something. And all of you have these faculties. You were all born with them. But there's been so much weight given to what you see and hear and smell and touch and taste with your body that you have completely ignored these other senses, many of you. And many more of you are having these senses activated now by the existing and wondrous energies coming to this world. As much as you can see the corruption and confusion and anger and frustration that are products of this energy, the exact opposite is unfolding on this planet. The great possibility, great creation, great love, great compassion is also available. But these energies require that you not simply be connected to your physical body as the medium of perception in your experience of creation, but that these other senses likewise will afford you the information, the knowledge, and the wisdom. You can even speak directly to us. You can have us come through you to give you ideas and information about what is good or not so good. Or you may continue to go about your life simply believing that you are just a physical form with physical senses, and this being the only means of your way of comprehending and apprehending and creating in this reality. In which case you will go through this lifetime somewhat only half complete in yourself and always feeling that way, that you are not quite complete. Not because you are not complete, because you are fully complete, but because your attention has loaned itself exclusively to the structure of biology and sensation as the only mechanisms for being able to realize what you are and what you can do and be as a creative intelligence in existence of time and space. And so you can find yourself here while you are in this world, that it is not simply what you see and hear and smell and touch and taste with the body that can reveal the truth to you about what others say and what others do. But you've been indoctrinated, so many of you, into the five physical senses as being the only way to perceive reality, in which case you find yourself saying and doing and accepting things that are intolerable under normal circumstances. That if these other faculties that you possess in your consciousness were active, you would know if someone were speaking truth to you or falsity to you. You would know so instantly. And you would say, no, I do not wish to listen to that false individual. They're speaking non-truth. You'd have the knowledge, the knowing within you, which you all possess. When you awaken to that you can hear a voice and know the truth of the voice, the truth of the words, the truth of the actions, the propositions, the suggestions. None could deceive you if you understood these other senses you had. For these other senses let you know truth. They let you see truth. They let you hear truth. They let you feel truth. They let you see, hear, know, and feel that which is false equally. Whereas the senses can be deceived and tricked. Even the function of the tone of a voice can be used to manipulate you if you are simply bound by the mechanism of your biology. If you believe that your biology is exclusively the only way to perceive reality, then you can be deceived. Without these other senses being active, you can be deceived in this world by those who would have you entrust yourself to them. You can be deceived. They can tell you things and do something else. They can say things and not mean them. They can tell you they're going to do you good when they're going to do you evil. They can tell you they're going to give to you when they take from you. You can be deceived when you believe that your senses are the only way to perceive the physical reality. But these other senses allow you a clarity of knowing, but it requires that you begin to activate and develop these senses. If you wish to learn to do this, you may come and join us through this one to learn to activate these senses so that you cannot be deceived, that you cannot even let your own mind deceive you ever again, because your mind has been trained to deceive you by those that would benefit from your suffering, or those who could benefit by what they could take from you. But in these other senses, you cannot be deceived if they are open and you're aware and you can feel and know the truth of what a person says or does around you. Would that not be of greater benefit than to simply be assuaged by a wonderful tone of voice that might sound beautiful? Many of your so-called politicians do this quite frequently. They have sweet sounding voices. They can sound as sweet as we can sound. And if you do not have the awareness to understand how to sense and feel what you know on the inside, what you know to be true, not what they tell you is true, but what you know in your heart to be true, none can deceive you. None can deceive you when these other faculties are awakened to see clearly, to hear clearly, to know and feel clearly. None can deceive you. But the structures of learning on this planet have been put together in such a fashion that many of you believe that you can only perceive what you see and hear and smell and touch and taste with your bodies. That this is the only way to experience yourself, or the only way you can experience the world. And this is like going through your life with one eye covered. Your eye is covered and you cannot see. If you believe that the senses of the body are the only mechanisms of perception, then you are going through life with only one eye open. This is not good. You can have something called blindsided happen to you by people that tell you one thing and do another. It's happening to you quite frequently on this planet, and more so the deeper you get entrenched in the belief that the physical world, that your senses are the only way to experience your life, you get further away from the development of these other senses of knowing. You call them intuition, hunches, gut feelings, different ways you form language to understand that you just know something, even though you don't know how you know, but you know that you know. You understand that. And so you did not come here to suffer. You did not come here to be lost. You did not come here to be confused. But these things that you might find yourself in have benefit for you to find your way out of them. That you are not your confusion, you are not your anger, you are not your frustration, you are not your self-loathing. Those are simply conceptions and ideas that you've acquired, conditions that you may have previously manifested. I wonder what it's like to suffer, you might have thought in another lifetime, and now you find yourself suffering. Or you did harm to others, and you were controlling and mean and authoritative, and now you get to experience that in your next lifetime. You think the victims of war did not have a creative influence over their experience from other lifetimes? In the context of this lifetime, you can be excluding so much, which many of you do. You exclude that there's preceding causes to the effects you're observing in this world. Many of you do not understand that there are preceding causes to the effects that you are experiencing in your own life. But the conception of reincarnation, where you as a consciousness move from one point of being to another point of being to another point for the sake and benefit of experiencing, understanding, and knowing creation. And there are many great teachers and healers that have come into this world that have deliberately come back when they've achieved a certain level of knowing. They come back and they say, listen, we have discovered something, that you are divine, that you are a function of great love and creation, that you are creation by your nature. That's what you are. And they come deliberately to remind you of what they know themselves to be, because they know themselves to also be you. They know also that suffering in the process of creation becomes unnecessary if you understand that you are creating. And so you find yourself in this wonderful place, creating and experiencing your creation. Do not be confused by where you are. Understand that where you are is a function of creation, either one precipitated by yourself or one you've accepted as a creation from others. For some can say to you, oh, you are this, and you are this, and you are that. And if you say, okay, yes, then you will be this and that. Because if you accept an idea, you will accept a creation. If you accept a desire, you accept a creation. If you accept a thought, you accept a creation. If you give a thought, you give an idea, you give creation. You can instill an idea of a creation in others' mind and have them experience something very different than they would normally if they accept your ideas. This is going on all of the time. And you all know these words to be true from your own experience, but you must recognize you do not have to be subjective to this anymore. You cannot delight in the creation you have because you judge it. How can you know a thing if you judge it? How could you truly delight in the life? These beautiful bodies that you find yourself in gave themselves to you, and you gave yourselves to them. And how you love one another How do you love the divine temple in which you find yourself living in this life? Do you honor and cherish it? As it awakens with you every morning saying, no matter what you do today, no matter what you say today, no matter how you treat me, I will remain with you. Your body says this to you all of the time. And it tolerates your judgment and your mistreatment of it. What a wonderful blessing. Your best friend is your physical organism, and many of you do not understand this. That it is a very loyal and faithful servant that will allow you to do heinous things to it, as this one once did. We followed him for many years in this lifetime before he opened his mind up enough that we could speak to him. And he used to do terrible things to this organism that we speak to you through right now. He used to do terrible things to it. And it accepted it. Although it was harmed and damaged in so many different ways, it still followed him. And your body is like that for yourself. Your body will do and be as you request it. Whether what you tell it to do and be is painful to it or causes it to suffer, it will simply say, whatever you want, you may do it. I will not like it, but I will accept it. Your body is such a wonderful and loving friend. You all seek unconditional love, but the one that loves you the most is the one that you are with. That it honors and cherishes you, whether you would pour poison into the body or put substances into it that are not good for it, it will simply accept. And it will stay with you till the day you leave it, in suffering, in sickness, in health, till death do you part. That is the statement you use when you so-called marry another. But what about that statement with your own physical body where you join together? You join together in flesh and you say, we are together now. We are married in this lifetime, that you are married to that body that you are in. For better, for worse, for sickness, for health. You are in that body for this lifetime. And do you honor it? And do you cherish it? And do you love it? It lets you breathe. It lets you experience this world in all the ways that you could desire. Even if those ways would cause it to suffer. What a great and profound love that your body has for you, that it would let you do as you do to it. Let you think as you think to it. And there are some of you that treat your body as great, wondrous temples of divinity. And there are many of you that treat your body like a slave, to simply carry the burden of your own causes and effects. Well, you bear no consequence, but the body carries the burden of those. It is your great love in this life. And how do you love it? And so these two subjects were very important to consider, this concept of reincarnation, that you must look upon your body for what it is. It is not you. Your body is not you. It is the instrument, the steed upon which you ride through this lifetime. Do you love it? Do you honor it? Do you cherish it? Truly. And you're experiencing the effects of your own causing. Many of the things that many of you are experiencing in this world, you did not create in this lifetime. You created from other lifetimes. Oh, I wish to be a man. Many of you have said this many times, throughout many lifetimes, through many embodiments. I wish to be a man. I wish to be a woman. I wish to be this. I wish to be that. And then you become it. And then you become it. And then you go, oh my goodness, I don't like this. Oh my. Many of you find this. We find it quite humorous. After you get on the ride, you want off. But you came on to the ride because it looked very exciting. It looked very appealing. And what is the resolution to this? How do you end this suffering? You must come to a place of deep and profound gratitude for what you are in this moment, for the body that you have, to have a deep, profound gratitude for all that it does for you. It walks for you, it talks for you, it dances for you, it eats and drinks for you. It does as you request it. And how do you repay its service to you? How do you repay the service of your body to you? Consider these thoughts, that you might find a place of peace and respect and joy, that you are married with that body for this life. Have you not considered this, that that body that you are in, you joined it in matrimony, through the mother, matrimony. You joined it through the mother. And for this lifetime, what's been put together cannot be torn asunder. That the body that you're in is your first love. And that you may extend that love to others, that you may enjoy the love of others, or they may enjoy the love that you have to bring through your body. But when you look in the mirror at that body, realize that it is a separate living being that you just happen to inhabit. When you look at that mirror, what do you say to this beautiful one? When you look at the mirror every morning, what do you say to that beautiful one that carries the burden of your thoughts and your emotions and your actions? Or the blessings of those thoughts and actions, because many of you are learning about blessings. Many of you are learning how to change your thinking. Many of you are beginning to awaken. Many of you are beginning to awaken. And what a delight that is, that you're beginning to understand the treasure of the relationship that you have with that organism, that you precipitated the creation of the body that you find yourself in right now. And that creation has responded to you, and how are you responding to what it has given you? Do you love it? Do you cherish it? You're free to do whatever you will, to think whatever you shall, to believe whatever you will. You're free to do this. In understanding the proper way to exist in this dimension, you cannot just exclusively rely upon the senses of your body either. For you bring to your body that which your body cannot bring to itself. You bring to your body that which your body cannot bring to itself. You bring clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You bring these other senses that you can know and see and hear and feel things that the body cannot. The body can be tricked. Even your psychological systems of education that talk about the psychology of your mind and the perception of your body, and your senses can be manipulated very easily. They can be distorted and tricked into believing certain things, your senses. As we said before, even the specific sound of a tone of voice can be used to manipulate your body. But with these other senses that you, as this beautiful soul, that you may develop and awaken in yourself, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, you can come to a place of knowing where none can deceive you, as we have said. That your body can be deceived, but you cannot. That you as awareness can say to them, oh, what they're saying, I can feel that what you're hearing sounds sweet, but I can feel the deception in what they're saying. And you can come to know this. So that no man nor woman upon this world could deceive you. But you must have these senses developed and activated. And you must understand that these senses must be developed, that this world has loaned itself to enslaving you only to the physical senses of perception, that you can only find that what you see, hear, smell, touch, taste as being the only foundation upon which to perceive reality, and this is not true. That you have these other senses that allow you to apprehend and comprehend reality beyond the five physical senses, that you cannot be deceived. And this is most important at this time of ascension. For those that are deceptive, their deception will grow. And those that are truthful, their truth shall grow. This time of ascension, where the great gift of light is precipitated upon this planet for everybody to receive. And each of you in your own way will receive it. Those in love shall be increased in love. Those in fear shall be increased in fear. Those in greed and avarice will be increased in their greed and avarice. Those increased in compassion and kindness will be increased in that as well. There is no escaping creation that you are in, and what it means to be a creator, to furnish the experience of your experience as an act of your own creative will, that you are free to do this here and now and always, evermore. In summary, let us say that it becomes very important and imperative for those of you that hear these words as they truly are, and not simply the words that sound nice, but you hear the truth of these words, that you must awaken your soul to what you are. Bring your awareness, the whole of you, into the embodiment, that your consciousness is not solely dependent upon what the eyes see or the ears hear or the nose smell or what the hands touch or what you taste, that these are not the sole senses that you must rely on, but you must learn to become familiar with these other senses that you all possess, of sight, inner sight, of sound, inner sound, hearing, knowing and feeling. You must become aware of these other senses because your world is structured to keep you trapped in the physical embodiment exclusively, that you can only see, hear, smell, touch, taste, which means you can be manipulated. But when your eyes are open to these other senses, you cannot be manipulated by any man nor woman. And your choices will be very different. And the outcomes and eventualities in your life will be very different. And those of you that know will know, and those of you that hear will hear, and those of you that see will see. We need not concern ourselves with who does or who does not. We know there's a simple truth to this. So you're in this position now. You have heard these words. Hear them again. Awaken, dear soul, awaken. Remember who thou art. I want to say thank you to the Divine Collective for this message. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. For those of you that are just new, that was a group called the Divine Collective that are just arriving here. This is a group called the Divine Collective. If you want to hear the full message, you can go over to my YouTube channel, and when it's finished rendering, the video will be up on the group wall, and it will be called Reincarnation and Confusion and Your Clairs, or Spiritual Senses, by the Divine Collective. And that will be up on my YouTube channel once this live is finished and the video is rendered through the website. For those of you that have enjoyed this content, please remember to like, to subscribe, to share, to give the videos thumbs up. Do what you can to raise the algorithm's perception of this information so that it gets placed before more people to hear, to see, to know what conventional education will not teach you, what your leaders and politicians that gain advantage by their deceptions will not share with you. You need to awaken to who you truly are as a spiritual consciousness, right? You're not just a meat sack, just picking up sense vibrations with your body. You're a divine consciousness. And I really love what they're saying about activating these clairs. I am honored and blessed to have these individuals teach through me. During our master classes, they come through me and they instruct us. They give us lessons on how to understand and awaken these senses. And I encourage you to look at our masterclass series. It's a 101 masterclass coming up March the 9th. It's called Awakening, which is all about awakening the fundamental senses that we all have. Not the physical ones alone, but these other clairs that you can learn over a 3-week period, the functional practices that you need to learn to begin to awaken those clairs. So you can begin to see, hear, feel, and know. To also begin to connect to your guides and angels who are all around you. You're not in this dimension alone. Your body is an individual in this dimension, but you are not disconnected from other realms of information. And our 101 masterclass on awakening will give you step-by-step practices for activating and awakening those senses that they were speaking about earlier: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, which allows you to see the world of spirit, connect to the divine, connect to Master Jesus, connect to Buddha, connect to God. You know, a lot of people try to pray and expect to hear God speak them in physical words. God will not speak to you in physical words necessarily. Because I've had experiences where I was contemplating something and a person would walk up to me randomly and suddenly give me the answer I was asking to be given to me. So yeah, God can speak to you through other forms, in other ways, other means. Thank you for that subscription. Really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing on TikTok. Thank you so much. We will take some questions this morning. I'm really grateful that you're all here. And again, remember, this is a brand new day, a brand new moment in your life. Look at it that way. When you open your eyes, it's a brand new day. When you're in a moment, it's a brand new moment. Right? You know, when they teach us about the present moment in our Masterclass 102, where they teach about the present moment and how to move your awareness into the present moment, because they teach you ways to meditate. They teach us ways to quiet the mind. They teach us ways to get the body still, so that you can begin to awaken to what you are instead of perceiving yourself only through the body self, right? Which is what most people do. They say that most people just perceive themselves as the body. This is who I am. And that's not true. The body is a beautiful and wondrous instrument, but it's not the all of you. Please remember that. Good morning, Wendy. How are you doing? What guides and masters want to channel through you? Wendy, again, if you really want to know that, go check out our Masterclass 101 course program on my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Check out the courses in the shop and then read the description of the 101 Masterclass. They'll lay out all the steps and all the things that will happen in that 3-week class and what you'll learn from that and how you'll begin to awaken yourself. Because everybody has guides, everybody has angels, they change all the time. And you really want to learn to connect them yourself. If I tell you who they are, part of you might not believe them, right? Part of you might not believe. So you have to experience it directly. And again, you're taken through practices in Masterclass 101 where you get to feel and experience the energy of your guides and angels the way you are able to. Because if I were to tell you, oh, you might experience them this way, you might, but you also might not. So when they gave us these courses to teach and they told us how to map it out, they were done specifically to lead people step by step, in perfect order, getting individuals to a place where they can actually feel, hear, know, and sense directly for themselves from your own inner perspective that oh, I know this, right? Because it's when you open up those inner senses, you begin to really know. But yeah, you've got about 4 guardian angels with you and 1 ascended master that want to work with you. Yeah, I see that. I won't do that. Okay. Someone saying, am I crazy or do I really hear spirit? Everybody can hear spirit. The question you want to be mindful of is are you hearing spirit of a higher vibration or a lower vibration? Because there are spirits that are low vibrational, dark energies, right? They're low vibrational. They live in fear. They thrive and live on fear and anger and pain. And there are entities that live on love and joy and compassion and kindness. Again, you want to learn to discern the one spirit from another. Very important, because you've got many politicians on this planet right now that are possessed by lower vibrational spirits. You know who those politicians are. You can tell because they're stealing money. They're doing things that are wrong, disrespectful. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. These are beings that are manipulated by lower vibrational spirits. And when you know who they are, you know them in your own country. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Every country has people that are literally being possessed by lower vibrational spirits. And every country has beings that are being possessed by higher vibrational spirits. You want to learn how to tune into higher vibrational spirits. And there's several things that we do in the Masterclass series that will help you learn how to change the vibration of your body, because you want your vibration of your body to be higher energy, not lower energy. You want to make certain you're putting vibrationally sound foods in the body. And you need to learn to do that. You need to change the frequency of your body to change the frequency of perception from that level. That also includes being able to understand how to change and alter the type of thinking that goes on in your mind, because thoughts will generate or stimulate qualities of energy. And those qualities of energy will produce experiences in your life. But yes, you do hear spirits. A lot of people are hearing them now. A lot of people are hearing them, the good ones and the not so good ones. Why it's so important, why you're seeing all these teachings and this spiritual movement throughout all of these social media platforms where people are talking about raising your consciousness, raising your vibration. It's because there's these higher vibrational beings coming into this dimension to interact with those that are on that frequency, helping everybody to elevate themselves up. It's really important to learn to do that. So go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our masterclass series, and you'll get a full description of what the class is there. Sorry, guys. Left ear ringing keeps happening. Yep, that's happening a lot. So there are what we call ascension symptoms. You know, ascension symptoms are ringing in the ears, but that can be caused by other things as well. But ringing in the ears is a sense where something's connecting to you energetically, and your body perceives it on the level that it's at. Remember, your body can only perceive information on the level that it is at. They'll teach you all of this in the masterclass. Like, you'll come and learn from ascended masters how they teach you that your body can only learn from the level that it's at, and you can learn it from the level that you're at. And they break it down so that you can actually begin to understand how the body perceives and what its basic functions are, how it actually serves you, what the simplicity of it is, and who you are as a spiritual consciousness. And it's a beautiful and a wonderful thing when you awaken to the realization that you are not just a body, and you realize, I am a soul. Something really beautiful begins to happen inside you when you realize, I'm not my thoughts. I'm not these emotions. That's not who I am. These are things I have, but they're not who I am. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people's eyes just when they have that first revelation, that first experience of realizing, I'm not my thoughts. I can make my thoughts quiet. There's such a wonder and a delight upon their faces when they realize that all the confusion, all that thinking, all that concern and worry is not who they are. Such an amazing thing when that happens for somebody. It really, really is. You know, you're not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. Yeah, I understand that. A question from Rosemary. Hi, Leslie. Sending you love and light. There's a lot of scammers on my page. I don't send out any request message this page or inbox me for your reading. You are blessed. Thank you. Yeah, I will not. Thank you for saying that. There have been a lot of people that have been posing as me. They're stealing my profile picture and copying some of my videos from my YouTube and TikTok channels. And please understand, I will not directly message you. I will not reach out to you and solicit you for Bitcoin. I will not solicit you for money or anything like that. The only time you'll hear me talk about our class and courses is during this live event, or if you've directly reached out to me. If you directly message me and you're requesting information about our master classes or anything else that we're doing at this time, then I will respond to you directly. But I encourage you to go to my website and check out my courses and classes and watch out for scammers. I will not ask you for money. I will not ask you for cryptocurrency. I will not do that. So please watch out for scammers, because there's been a few of them. TikTok's removed 3 or 4 of them. I know YouTube has also done the same. So please, and thank you so much, Leslie, for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I will not message you directly. No, I won't. Question from Daniela. Who takes their lives prematurely? Do they stall or stifle their earthbound soul group's members' potential? Let's see here. Yeah, they can. It's not always the case, Daniela. It's not always the case. But sometimes people get put and captured into belief systems that don't represent who they are. Like this whole movement of people think, this whole movement that says you don't have any control over how you feel. I can't control what I feel. This movement has been the most damaging and destructive, especially for young people. The belief that you can't change your emotions, that you can't change your thoughts. That is the most horrific lie to give to young people. You have authority over your thoughts. You do have authority over your emotions. Other people can be given permission or consent to manipulate your emotions, but you ultimately have absolute authority. Someone can call me a piece of crap. It's not going to upset me. Their energy is not going to become my own. That happens to a lot of people. But they're not teaching children that you can receive energy from people and you can give energy to people. You don't have to receive energy from people. If they say call you a name or get angry at you, you don't have to accept their energy. You don't. It's really sad. But yeah, a lot of people are stuck in that. A lot of people trying to leave because they don't understand they can change their thoughts, they can change their emotion. A lot of people are leaving because they don't believe they have any control over their thoughts or emotions. Most people don't believe that they can control their own thinking or their own emotions. And that's only because you've been taught to believe that you're just a body, but you're not. Very, very interesting, very exciting. Is dreaming of babies a metaphor for something, or is it a literal meaning? Yes and yes. It can mean both. It can literally mean you're bringing babies, but they're telling me that for you, it means there's new creations that you're manifesting in your life that are about to come into your world right in the next few days, next few weeks. New creations, new opportunities that you've given life to. They're telling me they can be good or not so good, but you'll see them and you'll know them, that these are the birth of the new things that you've been envisioning. Your brain will interpret spiritual information on a metaphorical level. So your brain will interpret creations that are new, as perhaps in your case at least, as little newborn babies, little babies that have come into your life, right? New creation is what it is. Yeah, it's really fun how time goes, eh? Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very true sometimes. Thank you. Thank you, Tabitha. I really appreciate it. The question, it's really that the contract they've signed up for is that experience we have. You can change your contract, okay? You can change your contract. You can change your manifestation, and you can change it in this lifetime. You do not have to wait for other lifetimes to change it. You know, you can have a contract with somebody that you're going to suffer, and you can change that contract by changing your energy. When you change your energy, you'll change your relationship to experience, because emotion organizes all of your experiences, right? You can change contracts, even if you're halfway through. Yeah, here we go here. Any messages from my ancestors about the dire situation I'm in? They're telling me to sit in the sacred silence. Sit in the sacred silence. Let us give you the word, the way today, but you must sit in the sacred silence. Wow. To me, that sacred silence is that place where you get your mind and body quiet and still, and you're open and receptive to receiving guidance outside of what you know in your own mind. Because a lot of people think that what's in their mind is all you have to work on. That's all you got to work with. That's gobbledygook. What you've been taught to know by this world is not all you have available to you. That's where most people are stuck. They think that what you think about, what's in your mind, is all there is. You are not your thoughts, folks. You are not your emotions. You have them. And those thoughts are creating emotions. But that's not who you are. You are a soul, a spirit of universal light, a spirit of universal love. That's what you are. And you have the ability to interact with your mind and your emotions in order to affect a change in your creative process and experience of this physical dimension. Isn't that wonderful? That when you awaken up and realize, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not these emotions, but I can change my thoughts. I can alter these things called emotions because they're just energy. When you come to that realization, you'll start to liberate yourself from your suffering. You really will. Let's see here. Question from Adam. Adam's asking, Archangel Michael, there was a girl at the gym who ignored me harshly. Did she receive any secret information or pick up anything intuitive that I did not want to hear, to know, or another reason? I'm being told quite simply, this girl has been conditioned by the environment of the belief that all men see her a certain way, right? There's been a lot of objectification going on this planet. He's saying this girl was just been conditioned to perceive and respond to men in the way she's been conditioned to perceive and respond to men. She has no awareness of her response. She's completely ignorant that she's even responded that way. When she was in it, she felt the anger and the judgment that she's been programmed by this movement that men are all bad or women are all bad. That's nonsense that's coming out in the planet. But it had nothing to do with you, Adam. It had to do with conditioning in her mind, not anything about you. If anything, she was resistant to the light that you were transmitting to her. So she felt the light, but she also felt a judgment of what she thinks men are. That was a response to your light. Don't take it personally. A lot of people are doing that right now, reacting to people from programming, not from truth. Delinda, yes, you are on the right path. You certainly are. Hi, guys. Hi. So good to see all of you here. Thank you for the hearts. I saw that funny floral ribbon that came on my head on TikTok. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, you are on the right path. If your awareness is, here's a great question. If your awareness is limited, then we have to understand it will be systematic towards that process. Yes, if your awareness is limited to certain beliefs, thoughts, memories, and emotions, then yes, you will be limited to those thoughts, beliefs, memories, and emotions. The moment you can begin to make a distinction between yourself as awareness, the thoughts in your mind, the memories you hold, the sensations of the world around you, the moment you can begin to realize, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions, I'm not these memories, these are things I carry with me, they're not who I am. From that perspective, you can begin to institute deliberate and effective change in your own mind. Instead of waiting for the world to make you feel better, maybe I'll go get some candy and it'll feel better. The candy will make me feel better. The food will make me feel better. Maybe if I watch a TV show, I'll feel better. No, you can change your thinking mind. You're a divine entity, a soul that is inhabiting a physical mechanism. Wake up. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You can change them. Don't believe that when you're told you can't change them. That's gobbledygook. You can change your emotional energy by understanding how to interact with your emotions differently. You can change emotions just by changing a thought process. You can change emotions by letting go of old memories. Something we teach in the Masterclass 102. Master Jesus talks about this process of forgiveness in Masterclass 102, which is about liberation, about what forgiveness really is. You know, Master Buddha often talks about how to be in the present moment so that you're not bound by the past or bound by a future past or bound by a past present. You know, come and learn from the Ascended Masters. It's the most amazing thing. When you get to hear the words of Ascended Masters, what they've learned, what they've understood, and they transmit that energy to you. You know, you go to schools and you go to educational facilities to learn from them. You learn from your teachers, you learn from public school, you learn from high school, you learn from university to believe certain things. Well, give yourself a brand new experience where you're learning from Ascended Masters who've been able to transcend matter, who've mastered creation, who when they were in their physical embodiments could perform what we would call miracles, which from their perspective are natural phenomena of understanding the nature and quality of creation, which is beautiful. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Register today. Masterclass 101 Awakening begins March the 9th. It's an amazing class, and you won't regret it. You'll have an amazing time. It's amazing what happens there. Golden Child is asking, is there a meaning of seeing matrix green bursts of color, bluest blue electricity and white spiraling energy when my eyes are closed? Yeah, you're beginning to open your third eye. One of the symptoms of opening the third eye is you begin to see different color patterns appearing, but you also begin to see different geometric shapes. When you do this next time, Golden Child, sit with it. Don't try to change it. Just allow it. Just observe and experience. Feel what energy you begin to feel with these shifts, because each different color is trying to transmit to your soul a different quality of energy. The different color patterns you're observing are different qualities of energy that your guides and angels, the divine, are trying to transmit you into your consciousness. So just allow yourself to experience and receive the vibration of that. Wow, that's really cool. I like that. Hi, Yolanda. Am I possibly pregnant? Yolanda, you possibly are. I'm being told to tell you yes. Okay. Don't let your desire frighten you. They're just telling me to tell you this. Do not let your desire frighten you. You may have this if you choose. If you refuse, you refuse. Right? Don't be afraid of your desire. Wow, there's lots of people that want to share that journey with you. Adam, Diane is saying, I'm afraid to care about someone again. Yeah, you're not afraid to care about someone. You're afraid of what happened before is going to happen again. And because you're afraid of what happened before might happen again, you're increasing the likelihood of it happening again. If you do not know how to release your old thoughts and memories and emotions, if you don't know how to change your energy, you'll recreate the same shit different days. You really will. If you don't know how to change your emotional energy or how to change the energy around past experiences, then you'll recreate them. Not because you want to. Nobody wants to create nonsense. But if you're holding on to the energy of anger, if you're holding on to the energy of frustration or judgment, you will create situations and circumstances where you experience in your interactions with this world judgment with other people and yourself. It happens. What you are experiencing is because the energy that you are using, whether you're conscious you're holding that energy or not, whether it's unconscious emotion or conscious emotion, you are creating your experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. And you need to learn how to shift the process of creation that you're currently using. You need to learn to do that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Wonderful. Well, folks, I'm truly grateful. I do have to go. I want to wish all of you such wonder and love as it can be. Thank you so much for coming out. Remember, share, like, subscribe. If you want to see the full message transmission to this video, go to my YouTube channel in about an hour's time, and you'll see the video there. And it will be called Reincarnation and Confusion and Your Clairs or Spiritual Senses. I want to wish everybody much, much love. Thank you, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, for all your support. Get these messages out. Share, subscribe, like. Click the notification bell so that you know we go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, everybody. Bye for now. Take care.